Costa Kids by Alexa Robles,
Sydney Redpath,
and Alex Riley. The problem is that many children face uncomfortable stays in hospitals, and this might be because they do not have a relationship with the nurses or they miss their home. They also have to stay for a period of time when their parents are unable to be with their children due to other circumstances. This takes place in hospitals, nurses' offices, or doctors' offices.
Our solution: to address this problem, we researched many different things that could help make a child stay better at the hospital. We decided on designing hospital rooms to make children feel more comfortable. We learned how colors can affect different moods, interviewed people who have experienced long stays in the hospital, and developed an idea of how we could make a change in the real world.
This is a picture of the lower school and middle school nurse's office, and this is not our creation, but we wanted to interview the school nurse because it was redone a couple years ago, and before it was redone, the nurse's office was really dark and small and just not inviting. So we wanted to learn how a different environment can affect a child's mood, and the school nurse said that they're much happier and more excited to be in the nurse's office because it's a brighter and more opening environment. This is an example of our first prototype, and it was made before we interviewed Miss Fajardo, so we just did it on Photoshop, and it's just not very advanced, and it was our initial idea of what we thought that our redesigned room would look like. And then this was after meeting with Miss Fajardo, and she taught us how to use SketchUp and how to use the 3D warehouse. So we were able to create a more advanced prototype. And here you can see the different colors in the walls and pictures, because even just little things can make a child feel more comfortable.
So our target audience for this project is kids who have to stay in hospitals long term. We first narrowed our audience to just Costa Rica. However, due to obstacles, we expanded to just our school and the Philadelphia area. Since we were unable to get in contact with the families in Costa Rica, we are now focusing on hospitals around us and students at our own school to create new nurses' offices that makes you feel comfortable and not dread the idea of being sick.
Our plan. In February, our initial plan was on helping children in the hospitals from Costa Rica. The problem with this was that we could not get in touch with family members or hospitals from Costa Rica. Our pivot was to interview people who knew who had experience in hospital for a long period of time. In March, our new plan was to get in touch with families who have had children in hospitals and their experiences in the room. The problem with this was that the hospitals could not give out information about the kids. So our pivot was to talk to the school nurse about the kids' experience in the new nurse's office. In April, our new plan was to see how we can implement our sketches and prototypes into our school. The problem with this was that we could not get in touch with the school board and completely remodel the nurse's office. Our pivot was to create prototypes based off of the research we have done and examine our nurse's office and how a new environment affects the children's experiences.
In the future, we want to create an overall better environment for both the students and nurses in schools nearby, and especially our own. And by creating new prototypes and researching further, we hope to look into making a change in SCH's upper school nurse's office, because many of us have to spend time in the nurse's office for many different reasons, and our school nurse has to be there all day. So we want to create just an overall better environment that is more inviting and makes people feel more comfortable.
Our team has worked very well together on this project. At first, we had a very different idea of what we are doing now, but we found ways to overcome these obstacles. Our initial idea was to decorate the rooms of children who were living in hospitals for a long period of time in Costa Rica.
We wanted to create a much better environment for them, not only to better their moods, but to feel more comfortable in their rooms if their parents cannot stay with them due to outside conflicts. My family is from Costa Rica and has seen these children in poverty firsthand, which is why we wanted to address this problem at first. Once we realized how difficult it was to get in touch with doctors, hospitals, and my family, we pivoted to more local hospitals and an overall idea of what we think the redesigned rooms would look like.
We reached out to many different people for interviews and didn't get a response from a few of them. So we interviewed me and my mom, because we both stayed in hospitals for a long period of time. And in the beginning, we started this project because we all wanted to do something that involved helping children, and Alex knew that she wanted to do something that would help the kids in hospitals and wanted to make their stay better. So she took on the research role to find out ways that color psychology affects the kids during their stay. And after researching, Alex found out that there's a major effect on the kids based on the colors of the walls and the decoration around them.
And this is our initial logo that we made to represent Costa Rica, because that was our initial plan. And we picked these colors because it is part of the color psychology of happiness.
Thank you.